Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and hopefully you'll have read in the thumbnail that this is going to be my top 20 albums of 2024. This has been an absolute pain in the arse to do. I very nearly, up until about 10 minutes ago, thought I'm not even going to bother, because I know for a fact I have missed out some fantastic releases from this year. I looked on Discogs and I've actually had it added 191 items this year. Now obviously they aren't all new releases. There was a lot of discography fillers, a lot of old stuff, a lot of stuff that's been around for a couple of years that I've just got around to picking up. So I think out of this year's releases there's probably somewhere around the 64-65 mark, and to help sort of whittle it down is, like I say, I know for a fact there's albums I might look back at in 6 weeks time and think, oh, yeah, I should have had that one, that should have been there instead of this, and such like. But we can only do what we can do. I'm pretty happy about my top 6. From 7 down to 20 could have possibly interchanged and such like, or possibly even a couple being replaced, but we'll do this 20 and we'll see where we go. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them. Most of these I have actually shown before on my channel, so let's get cracked on. My number 20 is Necro and Swords of Dagil. This is their 5th full length out on Seasons of Mist. This is deathened black metal from France, and this is absolutely savage. This is an album that when I first heard it I was instantly hooked. After playing it 5 or 6 times, again, it's just every time you listen to it, which is the case for quite a lot of these albums, you hear something new, it gets better, you pick up something that you may have missed initially, and it's just an absolutely outstanding release. As I said, I've done a bit of a deeper dive into this, so that's number 20, and that is Necro and Swords of Dagil, or however you say it. Next up, and a band, they're one of my favourites, so this was always going to make an entry somewhere into the 20. This is Dipus and their self-titled release. This is actually their 3rd full length on Crypt of the Wizard. Dipus are death metal from the US. This album is extremely guttural, lots of weird, strange sound bites and time changes, and probably a little bit over the top, but it's sort of what you come to expect from Dipus. They certainly don't stick to any set pattern, as it were. But I absolutely love this. I've spanned this countless times, and on another day it probably could have been higher up in my list. So that's number 19, and that is Dipus with the self-titled Dipus. Next up is an album that I've seen people rave about, and I've also seen people criticise. For me, I'm going to rave about Severus and Maze Envy. This is their 2nd full length out on 20 Buckspin. This is Blackened Death Doom from the US. This has got one of the most annoying opening tracks ever. The violin screechy just noise, but it sort of sets the tone for what to expect, and that tone is, what the hell am I listening to? There's so many strange quirks and nuances throughout that it's just mesmeric, and again, this has been spanned countless times, and the more you spin it you'll hear, oh, I didn't get that passage last time. So this is yeah, it's a very I think it's like a Marmite album. You're either going to love it or absolutely hate it. fortunately for me, I absolutely love it. So that is number 18, Severus, with their Maze Envy. Next up is, well, it's the debut album from Tim Voss, World of Abominations. This is out on Macho Records. These gentlemen are from Scotland, and this is proper old school death metal done superbly well. Again, on another day this could have quite easily been higher up in my list of 20. I say 17's probably a little bit low, because this is just an absolutely stellar release. If you're a fan of old school death metal, then you will absolutely need this in your collection. So that is number 17, and Tim Voss with World of Abominations. Number 16, and this is probably going to be one of those records, I can't believe you put it that low, and it's purely because I haven't lived with it as much as some of the other albums that are above it. This is the magnificent Winterfilth. This is their, I did make a note, this is their 8th full length on Candlelight Records, called the Imperious Horizon. Winterfilth are from the UK. Winterfilth are probably one of the best, or certainly one of the most popular black metal bands from the UK, and this album cover depicts exactly what you listen to on the record. It's icy, it's frosty, it's dangerous sounding, it's unnerving, it's absolutely stunning as well. Now I know if I'd have had this maybe another 4-5 weeks earlier, this would have been higher on my list. But instead, you know, there's certain records that you think, I know for a fact that should be higher up, but at the moment it's sat there, and the ones that are ahead of it, the ones I've mostly spent more time with. So that is Winterfilth and the Imperious Horizon. And that is my number 16. Number 15 is, I just absolutely love this record. This is Zplante and Beating the Drums of Ancestral Force. This is their 2nd full length on 20 Buck Spin. Again, this is Death Doom, I would, yeah, from the US. But the thing I absolutely love about this is the tribal instrumentation, the way the songs are crafted, the story it tells. It's just absolutely stunning record. Again, probably not to everybody's liking, but that's why we do these lists. But for me, this is absolutely incredible release, and well worth picking up, or at least listening to. So that is my number 15, and Zplante and Beating the Drums of Ancestral Force. Next up is 2024 has been a bit of a year for me discovering that I do actually like black metal. This next album fits that category perfectly. This is Pestilential Shadows, apologies for the glare, and this is Devil's Hammer. This is their 7th full length, and it is out on Northern Silence production. These gentlemen are from Australia. This is absolutely savage. This has everything that you would associate with black metal. It's just absolutely, from start to finish, superb. Lots of nastiness, lots of savagery, lots of fantastic riffs. It's just, yeah, again, it's been a challenge putting these into an order that I've sort of felt happy with. This could have quite easily been higher up, maybe not in the top 6, but it could have certainly been in the top 10. So that is Pestilential Shadows, The Devil's Hammer, is my number 14. And number 13 apparently is unlucky for some. As far as I'm concerned, this is a brilliant blind buy. This is Rat and the album Enchantment. This is a one-person project. Now it's described as post-rock, shoegaze, post-black metal from India. This is their 4th full length. This is absolutely stupendous. The amount of different paths it takes you down is just, it's otherworldly. It's absolutely superb release. So much so that I bought this as a blind buy purely because of the artwork. Enjoyed it that much I had to go back onto Discogs and find a couple more of his releases. Yeah, this is just, without going into a lot of detail and fawning over it, this is absolutely an outstanding release. And again, as I keep saying, these orders could change quite quickly in a couple more weeks' time. I might even do a where's my list now type thing in a few weeks, a few months maybe. But yeah, so this is Rat and Enchantment, and that's my number 13 album of the year. Now, number 12 was for quite a long time my number 1 album. This is an album I slept on initially when it came out, but then when I finally got a hold of it, this was the type of album where if you're feeling in a bad mood, on the verge of doing something that you know you shouldn't do, don't put this on, because if you do, the thing you know you're not supposed to do, you'll end up doing. This is Spectral Voice and Sparagmos. Now, I've seen some people say it's not as good as the previous album. Personally, I absolutely love everything about this. It is such a slow, morose, heavy, disturbing record. It's absolutely fantastic. This is their 2nd full length. This is out on Dark Descent Records. No, not Dark Descent. Yeah, Dark Descent, yeah. And yeah, this is just, like I said, this is only when I started to really sit and compile my list, that's when this dropped down. Plus there's a few other bits and bobs that's come into the collection that I prefer. But again, this is absolutely, you know, this is first rate Death Doom, and like I said, could easily have been higher. So that is Spectral Voice and Sparagmos, my number 12. Number 11, slightly different, but still, in my opinion, just as incredible. This is Suldusk and their album Antithesis. This is their 2nd full length on Napalm Records, and this is classed as neo-folk black metal from Australia. Female fronted. The clean vocals in this are absolutely stunning. The screeches and howls and banshee wails are just disturbing. But overall, the music on this, there is some beautiful musical passages on this, and there is some harsh, bitter, resentful music as well. This is an incredible album, and I'm looking forward to seeing these at Fortress Festival next year. I might be stood by myself, I don't know, but I don't think I will be somehow. So this is my number 11 and Suldusk with their album Antithesis. Talking of Fortress Festival, my number 10 album of the year is an album I discovered doing some homework for Fortress. This is the band Percher. This is their album Demoata, their 2nd full length on Prophecy Productions. This is classed as black folk metal, again from Australia. This is female fronted, but the vocal range that the lady has is just ridiculous. She goes from sublime, beautifully soft spoken verses to wails, to catcalls, to shrieks, but the music is so memorable, and sort of you end up with an earworm, a certain riff, a certain phrase or whatever. This is absolutely stunning album, and again, looking forward to seeing these at Fortress Festival immensely so. So this is Percher and their album Die Muerte. What I will try and do is, I don't know if people even bother going down into the links, but I will link them all down below and give you a chance to find them out yourself, listen to them yourself. Number 9 was always going to be in my top 10. This is Blood Incantation. This is Absolute Elsewhere, their third full length, out on Century Media Records. This is, if Pink Floyd did a death metal album and were better than Pink Floyd, it would be this. That's a bold statement because obviously Pink Floyd are legends. I think this is the best thing that Blood Incantation have done. And again, I know people will say, oh, it's not as good as so and so, it's not as good. Again, it's just my opinion. Like all these records that are in this list, it's my opinion. It's actually classed as only 2 tracks. It's actually 3 on each side. Every single time you listen to this record, or I listen to it personally, there's something new to discover. This is incredible. I know, you know, they get the bit of stick about the last album only being like soundscape almost and stuff. Not interested. As far as I'm concerned, Blood Incantation are pretty much not flawless, but pretty close. So that is my number 9, Blood Incantation's Absolute Elsewhere. Number 8 is a band that are rapidly becoming one of my favourites. This is Spectral Wound and their release Songs of Blood and Mire, their 4th full length, out on Profound Law Records. This is black metal from Canada. This is without doubt a fantastic release. Now people say that the 3rd release, Diabolical Thirst, was better. Personally, I agree. However, this is very, very close. This has all the iciness and the savagery you'd associate with a Spectral Wound album, and it's just, you can hear the progression from album to album, and I absolutely love this. Again, this could have been a lot higher. Just the ones that are above it are slightly better in my opinion. So this is my number 8. This is Spectral Wound and Songs of Blood and Mire. Next up is an album that, another album that I first saw Rogger show on his channel. And normally when Rogger shows something, you know it's going to be pretty good. This again could have been slightly higher in my list. This is my number 7. This is Misotheist, Vessels by Which the Devil is Made Flesh. This is their 3rd full length on Territor Possessions. This is black metal from Norway. Now, I'm not going to take any of these out of covers because I don't want this video to run on for hours, but the whole package of this is absolutely fantastic. And this has got some of the most annoyingly memorable riffs ever. This has heaviness, this has gruffness, this has savagery, this has it's hard to describe because my vocabulary is not clever enough, but it's just an absolutely astonishing album from start to finish. This has been spun God knows how many times, and like with all these top 10 really could swap places. Maybe not the top 3, but the rest of them could. Absolutely fantastic release. So that is Misotheist, Vessels by Which the Devil is Made Flesh. Next up is the one I can never bloody pronounce. This is my number 6 and it is Canon Fiber and the album Die Catastrophe, the 2nd full length on Century Media. This is melodic black death metal from Germany. This is themed around the war. This is quite disturbing and upsetting when listened to, but it adds the little nuances add to the overall enjoyment of such a ridiculously good release. I've been trying to get hold of the other stuff from Canon Fiber, but wow, that is some seriously expensive shit. But just going off this release alone, I can understand why it's so popular. This is an absolute belting stellar release, and again, probably should be higher up, but there's a couple of like sentimental reasons I've gone with a few higher. So this is my number 6 Canon Fiber and Die Katastrophe. Said it twice and both times it was different. Number 5 is probably my favourite horror themed death metal band. This is Fulci, this is Duckface Killings, this is the 5th full length out on 20 bucks spin. This is brutal death metal, horror themed. These gents are from Italy, and I just love everything about this record. I even don't mind the rap song. When I first heard that this was coming out, I instantly said to myself, well, that's going to be your album of the year. I was a little bit presumptuous. Now that doesn't mean I don't think it's absolutely, it's 10 out of 10 just because of its quirkiness, based on the New York Ripper movie, which is one of my favourite movies. It's just absolutely everything about this. When I listen to this, I find myself grinning like a loon, which, you know, some people might say that's normal anyway. But so that is my number 5, and is Fulci and Duckfaced Killings. Right, next up is not really a metal album, and for quite some time this was number 1 as well, purely because of who it is. This is Chelsea Wolfe. This is She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She. Not quite sure about the title. This is her 7th full length out on Lorna Vista Records. Chelsea Wolfe is American. Chelsea Wolfe is absolutely incredible. If you want an artist that releases a variety of music that is all individually fantastic, collectively even better, then I would say you can't go wrong with Chelsea Wolfe. I was fortunate enough to see Chelsea Wolfe earlier this year in the company of our good friend Simon, the bearded red Viking, and what we witnessed that night was something very, very special. This album is slightly more industrial sounding than some of her others. It has the I don't know if she's got a telltale like tone to her voice or whatever, but you know when Chelsea Wolfe starts singing, you know you're in for something good. And this is flawless album for me. This is absolutely 10 out of 10, no questions asked. So my number 4 for the year is Chelsea Wolfe with the ridiculously titled She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She. Not quite sure what she was reaching out for, but hey ho. Right, so we're into the big boys now, and this is the top 3. This top 3 could quite easily change by the time this video's uploaded. All 3 of these albums to me are 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10. Number 3, purely for the purpose of having to rank them, is the latest released from Ara. This is Eiger. This is their 6th full length on Debnema Morty Productions. Ara are a black metal project from Switzerland, and if ever an album cover describes what the music is going to be, it is this one. Everything about this album is perfection. There is an iciness, a frigidity, harrowing sounds to it. The mix is one of the best mixes ever. Floss's voice, the lady that sings, is sort of, it's not buried, but it's well back in the mix, which means that when you're listening to it, it's everything around it is, it's like being, quite literally being stuck on the top of a mountain, knowing that you're going to die, and the wind is howling, the snow and ice are blasting at you, and you've got no chance of rescue. You're just listening and hoping for something to come and save you. Absolutely 100% flawless album, and that's why it's so difficult to say it's my number 3 of the year. So that's Ara and their album Eiger. Whereas Ara is black metal that is very icy and very chilling, this number 2 is stupendous. This was number 1 until yesterday, when I finally decided to add what I've now placed at number 1. I'll explain more when I get to it. This is Eclipse and House of Black Geminus. This is their 4th full length on Devon and Morty Productions. Again, this is black metal from the US. The difference between this is pummeling, industrial sounding, ferocious. It's got riffs for days. It's so memorable in every single aspect of it. There are tracks on here that once you hear them, they stay with you constantly. This has been spun God knows how many times. It's spun regularly, well, daily, at least once. This again is akin to Ara. This is a flawless album. Excuse me. And this was number 1, as I said, until, well, yesterday. This is absolutely superb. These are playing at Fortress Festival next year, and regardless of any clash with anybody, these will be getting watched, because this is, if you haven't heard it, you are definitely, even if you're not a fan of black metal, if you like strong, powerful, extreme music that is full of riffs, it's full of melody that has so many different nuances, then you definitely need to hear this. This is Eclipse and House of Black Geminus. So, my number 1 release of the year, number 1 album of the year, is an album I wasn't going to include purely because of the runtime. However, after sitting in the pub with my friend Johnny Mack, the other night we were discussing, before we went to the Obituary gig, we were discussing albums, no great surprise there, and I said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to add this one, just because of the length of it, because it won't get played as often. Which was, at that time, was my what I thought. John said, oh no, if I like an album, I'm gonna stick it on my list, which is fair enough. Then I took to thinking about it. The album in question is Diverge by Percher. This is the 3rd full length on Kunststahl Productions. This is black metal from Switzerland. This is 104 minutes. This isn't an album you stick on while you're doing the dishes. And that was the reason I wasn't initially going to include it, because I just thought, it's too long. It's not going to get spun regular enough. The more I thought about it, when I put this on, especially if I'm listening to it with my headphones on, I just go into a different world, almost trance-like. And I probably listen to this more intently than anything else I've shown in this list, purely because of the length of it, because of how you need to immerse yourself in it, and that is very easy. Now when I say it's 104 minutes long, you know, that is a long time, personally, it doesn't feel like it's 104 minutes long. This is one of the only albums I will put on, like I say, especially with the headphones on, and just sit and not read the lyrics. You can't bloody read the lyrics anyway with my eyes, but to sit and listen to a piece of music that is so scary, so icy, so frostbitten, so disturbing. It's just absolutely wonderful. And the more I thought about the conversation that I had with John, it would have been criminal for me not to have put this in this list. It's flawless. Say it's a long album. You do need to be prepared to commit your time to it, but if you're prepared to commit to it, then you won't go far wrong with this. This is absolutely superb, and that is why Pestilential Diverge is my #1 album of 2024. I have got a few EPs and such like that I would like to show. I'll probably do a follow-up video maybe next week, or it might be in the new year. If it's the first time that you've watched my channel, thank you very much. Hope you found something of interest. You've certainly picked a long video to start on. To all the subscribers that keep coming back, always appreciated. To the new subscribers, I hope you find it interesting enough to stick around. I'd love to interact with everybody in the comments, as I've said plenty of times. I think we might try and fit in a small collection update before the new year. I know there's a record fair on locally on the 28th of December, so that could possibly end up being a little look at me, look where I bought type thing. But we'll see. I've got a project in the works now. I've been gifted some material that should make for a fantastically interesting video, as long as I can do it justice. We'll go into that closer to the time. So if you managed to stick out this long, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your spins, whatever genre you may be listening to. If you celebrate the festive period, or however you celebrate the festive period, hope you have a wonderful time with your family and you get spoilt rotten. We'll leave it there, and as always, look after one another. Until next time, cheers!